When things begin accelerating wildly out of control, sometimes patience is the only answer. Press pause. Welcome to the Journey to Forever podcast, where we discuss the highs and lows of life and love. Join us, your hosts, Flo and
Joe,
for a weekly recalculation of our roots as we navigate the twists and turns with candid conversation, comfort food, and laughter. Welcome back, Forever family, to episode 23 of the Journey to Forever podcast. If you're a new listener, thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes. I'm Flo, the recovering overlover, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Joe,
also known as the overly patient prince. On this podcast, we are focused on rewriting the tale of forever love, one conversation at a time. If you caught the opening quote by Douglas Rushkoff, you would realize that we're talking about the need to pause. Yes, that's our topic for today, a refreshing pause. But as usual, before we move forward with the topic of the day, we reflect in our segment we call, What's Your Story?
Hi folks, this is Joe here. Nice to have you all back. Hope everything is well, you all are staying safe. So, I have a question for Flo. Flo, got a story to share about a household mishap that happened to you?
Yep. Although, as I revealed in a previous episode that I once received the Best Disciplined Student Award, there were times when I was naughty. And this story is about one of those times. So it was a typical July-August vacation. For those in the temperate countries, you may call that your summer vacation from school. I was at home and bored. And there was this box of shrimp slice. Just tempted me from the cupboard. Baby, what you said it is? It's pork rinds?
Pork rinds.
Yes. So typically we would get the oil really hot and just fry them because they're a good snack. So my mother was very busy working. She's been working from home most of my life. So I was just really impatient. So I decided, hey, I'm going to fry these shrimp slices all on my own. Put the frying pan on the stove.
And how old were you?
I was about 10 or 11, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And was frying along, and eventually little pieces broke off. And I guess the oil got really, really hot. So it flared up. It literally caught a fire. No.
Flambe.
Boy. So silly me, at that point in time, I didn't know oil and water doesn't mix. So I know if there's a fire, you pour water on it to out it. So I picked up the pot and shoved it under the kitchen sink and opened the tap at full pressure. Well, obviously that did not solve the problem. In fact, it exacerbated it. The kitchen curtain caught a fire. And there I was looking at my apartment about to be burnt down. So no, I couldn't let this happen. So I grabbed up the frying pan by the handle with a kitchen towel and was gingerly walking it down the corridor to outside of the house. But in the middle of the corridor, the pan fell out of my hand, turned over. And yes, lack of oxygen, the fire outed. Hallelujah. But before that, I was literally trapped in the corridor between the kitchen and the exit, the door. So the fire flared up before it outed. And I literally jumped through the fire to run out the house. Needless to say, my eyebrows and eyelashes didn't survive. I managed to get outside, but my face was on fire. By this time, my mother heard the commotion and rushed towards me. When I explained what was going on, she was ready to share licks. Thankfully, Grandma was there. She said, throw a flower on the child, throw a flower on the child.
Which is another horrible idea.
Yeah, so that was my attempt to cook shrimp slices and almost burning down my grandfather's house.
Hell of a mishap there.
All right, Joe. Hopefully you're a way nicer child than I was, not as adventurous. Got a story to share about winning a contest?
Oh, yes, I do. And it was most recently at work. This February, to be exact. It was our manager decided that she will have a raffle and put everyone's name into a hat and have a draw just for the fun of it for Valentine's Day. And I won. That was the first thing I can remember ever winning, was a bottle of wine and 2 glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was my winning of a contest. Only time I can ever remember winning anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it, folks. Don't expect anything grand. I guess when I win the lotto, well then.
Wait.
All right. You know, a win is a win.
Yes.
So that's about it.
Okay, good. So let's get right into today's topic. People, I'm excited to be back. If you are an avid listener to this podcast, you'd recognize that we've been gone for a couple of weeks or so. And it was a necessary pause. Necessary for me because Joe and I have been working overtime. And yeah, for me, I felt as though we were like ships in the night. So it was necessary for us, or at least for me, when we actually got time to spend together, that we didn't focus on anything else but just spending quality time with each other. How about you, Joe? How has the last few weeks been for you?
It's been good. Actually got to sleep late, as if you want to say 8 o'clock being late. But yeah, that was the good thing about it. Catching up on those extra hours sleep. Not having to really rush to do anything. You know, the quiet time was wonderful.
Yep. And in between, because as we've mentioned during previous podcasts, this season 2, is really focused on sharing wonderful date ideas to help our listeners keep the spark alive in their relationships while being safe. And as we're speaking, our home country of Trinidad and Tobago is back in lockdown.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is more serious than the first time.
Definitely, because now the virus has mutated, there are newer strains. But it seems like deja vu. It seems like we're back where we were 1 year ago.
Yeah, it is. Because people happen to take our little happiness here.
For granted.
Yes, for granted. And then people being imported and coming in all willy-nilly here, there, everywhere. And they're thinking that, hey, we're going to paradise. But you are bringing what is wrong with the rest of the world into paradise. So eventually it won't be paradise anymore.
Well, people will always move. Have a means to travel, will go somewhere.
Yeah, I see that as being selfish.
Well, I hear you. I agree. But I'm sure that there were a lot of natives or long-term residents of our home country that needed to get back home. So if you need to come back home, I hear you. That's true.
No, I wasn't speaking of those people, because
but we know
home
the
is
people,
home.
Right?
You know, no matter what, you have to get home, because that's the place in the world on this little blue planet that you have to go. That there's nowhere else that really would accept you. They may pretend and say, oh yeah, you're now one of our own. Once you're being productive and you have something to offer, as in revenue, you come for vacation. But other than that, when that runs out,
Thanks,
they
but no
know
thanks.
you now become a burden.
Yeah.
And they are ready to get rid of you. But when you're home and your passport has a certain name of a country on it, that's yours. That place is home. They cannot get rid of you.
Yep. So we're glad to be at home.
Yes.
And one of the things that we decided to do while we're at home being safe is well, it definitely wasn't a sip and paint, but it was more like a draw and talk.
Yeah. You see, Flo was into the bonding of the situation, doing something together.
And
but
you,
folks, today I was playing to win. I don't know. The decision is up to y'all at the end of the day though. But we did our thing.
yes.
Okay? I will let her tell you what the thing was, but I was playing to win. So y'all will judge the winner. Okay? Critique is accepted. We don't mind. We're not professionals. We're just having fun.
Definitely. We will post the pictures on our Instagram, Journey to Forever TT. And like Joe said, judge us. Let us know in the comments whose drawing is better. Though I think they're both beautiful.
They're
both beautiful. For me, what was interesting about this exercise, yes, for me, it was all about bonding because I wanted to see a different side of Drew. Now, when I mentioned this exercise, here I was thinking, right, we'll do the traditional sip and paint. We'll pull up a YouTube tutorial and follow along. He's like, nah. Let me draw something. And I speak it in my original Trini accent here. Let me draw something. The man wanted to go and get vegetables from the fridge, all kind of thing. Now, I love plants. There are plants all over my home. So I said, okay, let's draw this little succulent that I have in a little tecup pot.
Yes, people she was calling it a cactus.
Well, cactus, succulent, you'll correct me too. All right.
Okay.
The plant in the teacup pot, okay?
Right. Not the cactus plant.
A kill Carwin boy. So we both took our stab at it, right? So here I was, trying to get Joe's enthusiasm up for this particular activity. He's like, oh gosh, let me just take a look at it now. I'll observe. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, but anyway, I know you taking this serious. And you do art in school, you write art for exams. He said, what are you talking about? Like, you're brushing it off, trying to make me feel as though, no, he's not gonna be good at this.
I have not drawn in over 2 decades, folks. I'm talking, it's been that long, I think I reverted to drawing a fish with an X as a tail.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's different. It's been a long time.
But the fact is, you have had a lot more practice at this. Give me woodworking class any day over art class. I was never good at art. That side of my brain just doesn't fire as fast as other parts.
It's all about creativity.
Yeah, but my creativity is in a different form.
I always say art is subjective.
Yeah.
It's really one of those things that is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
Because people, you all should look it up. There's a painting that worth, let's say, more than enough money. That's just a dot or a line. You all can look it up. Just one line down the center of a canvas, and it's worth how much ever money.
Yeah, I agree. Art is subjective.
Yes. So you have to be slightly crazy, but yes, it's subjective.
Well, for me, it was all about that bonding. So we got to drawing.
Yes, we got to drawing.
And first things first, I will let the people know. Mine has color because And Joe's is a pencil shaded, right?
Yeah.
And
I went basic.
yes, but I highlight that because for me, what was very obvious from watching both our interpretations of the same thing was, for me, the attention to detail. And by detail meaning just the color. And I'm not saying that my drawing is better than yours, because but that was interesting because it led me to think of how we view the same thing in our relationship generally. Like, I would want to dive into the details, like, and he'd be like, lady. Like, we just do the thing now. But anyway, the exercise was good, and it forced me to pause and allow Joe to do things his way.
Yeah, same outcome. We get to same place.
Right.
Just different means. We just do things differently. I do things at my own pace. She does things at hers. And try to match her sometimes. Sometimes she tries to match me. But at the end is the results.
Yeah, for me, again, the most important thing is that we pause and we spend time focused on the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, we had some fun.
Yeah. So, there were times when he would peep over at mine to see what I was doing, and then I'd peep over to see what he was doing. So it was really, really interesting. And the other thing was, during the conversation, we got to have a little chat about, him and his art class and TD and stuff. Like, I think when you are older, there are some, you clearly can't literally recap every single thing that you would have experienced prior to meeting each other. So for me, it's things like this, occasions like these, where you get to kind of zoom in on a particular aspect of that person's life. So why art and why TD, babe? What drew you to those subjects in school?
I think it was genetic. Because my uncles draw really well.
Okay.
My father was a builder. He could build a house from foundation to finish. Literally, fine detail. From plot of land to a house in some of the most beautiful neighborhoods or how elegant or illustrious neighborhoods that we have in Trinidad, where it's expensive to breathe the air in those neighborhoods. So, yeah, he could have done those things. He has done those things. So, they had that in them.
Mm-hmm.
I have an aunt who could write in a straight line with no lines. That is not the easiest thing to do. So, they say sometimes that's a little sign of insanity.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, everybody will more or less drawn to it. And I got that from my father's side because my mother can't draw full stop. So...
Hey, I take Mama V and I's talent. We like to communicate. And we communicate orally. We love good conversation.
Yeah, that's her thing. She's not into the pen to paper drawing, illustration. No, that's not her.
Yes.
But she could talk you into circles. To just keep going.
Yeah, so for me, it was really, really interesting to see that side of him. And the other thing is, why it was important is because during this pause, I remember looking at Joe in his eyes and asking him, like, what do you want to do? And he's like, what do you mean? And he was talking about something relevant to the immediate future. And I was like, no, if you had all the money in the world, like, what would you want to do?
Still thinking on it, folks. Believe that.
Yes, but the answer that he eventually gave me all led back to his artistic side. He didn't realize it, but that's what it was. I was like, okay, so at his core, at his heart, I believe he's an artist.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, which was why I knew I didn't stand a chance. Your girl was just here to represent, okay?
No, folks, you always stood a chance. I was at a disadvantage.
Oh.
You know, because, it's been so long. It's been so long.
Babe, if you see something, I didn't grow up in a house where my mother saved our childhood drawings. That's to tell you how bad they were, I'm sure.
Okay.
Because it wasn't worth saving. Wood workshop? Yeah, for sure. I built a key holder. Yeah, things like that. For sure, we could keep that. But art, and even during this, that was the other thing that jumped out at me during this draw and talk, was the fact that it was pretty easy for me to get the right half of the drawing good, but the left side, I was like, why are you struggling so much, boy? Seriously, I could get the curves right on the right side, but somehow, like on my non-dominant side, things were just not balancing.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. Everybody struggles with that, I believe. It's there in mine also. So
yeah, for me, I really want to do more things like this, because I had done a sip and paint with one of my girlfriends sometime, not more than a year ago, not more than 2 years ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. Because, like I said, I was never good at art, but literally following the instructor's guidance, I saw, oh my goodness, I could be creative. I do have the painting with me. It's not hung up, but I look at it every now and again, and when I pass by it, I be like, and smile with pride, because I'm like, I could do this. Yeah. I just need time and practice, but I could do it. So for me, it was a lesson too in sticking to something. You may not necessarily be good at it, but stick to it.
No, yeah, having fun. Eventually you'll get it right. And the feeling that you'll have for doing it will be like, wow, okay. As you see yourself get better, because there's no doubt that you will get better.
For sure.
Yeah, it will be better than the first time. It might take you longer to get really good at it. But every time you do it, you will do it a little better, a little faster. You'll get there. What they say about the longest journey starts with the first step.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So, people, I know that here we are back in lockdown, and I know that there are parts of the world that are still struggling to get this pandemic under control within their borders. So if you do attempt this talk and draw or sip and paint, whichever version of this that you would like to explore, let us know. Some of the interesting things that you may have learned about your partner, or how was your experience? What did you learn about yourself, your artistic abilities? Yeah? And remember, we will be posting our end results on our Instagram, Journey to Forever TT. So I don't want to say vote, but give us some feedback there. So the one thing that we made time for during lockdown was definitely thing to eat.
Thing to eat.
So what's your thing to eat topic for today, Joe?
Well, I have two topics. I have a question and a topic of what we did this week. Well, this week we had, what was it? Alfredo. My first attempt at Alfredo.
Yeah, fettuccine Alfredo.
Yes, shrimp Alfredo. Flo will tell you all how she think it was, because I made it for her. So, yeah, it was nice. First time doing it. I've seen it done. It looked pretty good.
It was. It tasted pretty good.
Yeah. So, right. But on to our question of the day in our thing to eat segment is, you have that feeling at times you're hungry, but you have no idea what to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just wondering, how am I gonna eat, boy? What? You don't know what you're feeling for. You don't know what's your go-to meal. Just to say, well, all right, I eat a full. It always hits a spot more or less.
I don't have one of those. And the reason being, when I'm in that mood, I usually open the fridge and it's more of what's the easiest thing to prepare. So it could be a sandwich. It could be I have stuff to make waffles or pancakes, so I might do that. Or it might just be eggs. To me, it just all depends on what's in the refrigerator.
For you, I always say, I'll make a salad. It always comes down to, I'll make a salad.
Me?
Yeah,
But
a lot of the times you do that, I'll make a salad.
But when last have I made a
That's
salad?
the whole thing is weird that you haven't grown for your salad recently, I guess
because I've been influenced by my significant other. That's why.
Yeah, well, that's all good, You open more variety now, so yeah, that's good.
I was always open to variety, babe.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your go-to then?
I'll make a salad.
No, you would. You would run in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but my go-to is either of two things: curry stew or steamed fish.
Yeah, when we
Either one.
first met, you used to do the curry stew like pretty often.
Yeah, that's my go-to. Once I don't know what to eat, I'll make curry stew. If I have fish, I'll have steamed fish with either rice or dumplings. I know I absolutely love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go to that instantly. I know at the end, I will be happy because I love that.
Yeah.
So it don't really matter. I don't know what to eat. Okay, curry stew it is.
And that's the difference because, like I say, I'm open to any and everything. Like, yes, there are meals that I would prepare a lot more regularly or I would shop for because I'm typically not a rice girl.
Yeah.
Joe has made me learn to consume rice more. But I'm typically not a rice person. Like I would not buy rice. Sometimes a whole year would pass and I wouldn't purchase rice.
Yes, folks, she was a quinoa baby.
I love quinoa. That was my rice. Outside of sweet potatoes, yeah, quinoa would be my main starch. So for me, that's why I think it all depends on what's available. But at my heart, if I had to be true, and I admitted this to you the other day, I could always go for breakfast foods. Like I could eat breakfast foods no matter what time of day it is. Give me some scrambled eggs and waffles.
Yeah, folks, she loves her eggs. Oh my.
I could always do breakfast food. We could make it sweet. We could make it savory.
And folks, surprisingly, that I make awesome scrambled eggs.
Yeah,
so yeah,
it works out.
That's right. Definitely works out.
For sure. But it's good to be back. Yes, as you know, having conversation is one of the ways that we spend quality time and also fill our love tank.
Yeah, that's how we fill the tanks, folks. It's always good to have a full tank.
For sure. Because some people say it's the apocalypse. Make sure you have your tank full. You see what happened in the US recently?
Yes. People putting gas in Tupperware.
I don't know about that. We don't recommend those things. Only approved containers.
Yeah.
But on this podcast, the tank we're talking about is our love tank.
Yes.
So as we round out today's episode, what's filled your love tank, Joe?
My love tank was filled this week by doing quarantine cuisine. Yes, folks, thing to eat. Have a next one too, the quarantine cuisine. Yes. All right. Yeah. You in there and cooking for you while you were at work. Yeah, that I felt great about it, you know. You not being here and knowing that, okay, when she comes home, she'll have something nice to eat. Yeah, I was ecstatic. I was looking forward to it. I was like watching the time to have food ready. She wouldn't have to wait when she get there, but having it finished so it wouldn't be cold and have to be reheated. So I was like, step by step, just building. And I did it. We did not have to reheat, and it was finished by the time she got here.
If you all could only see my face, my smile is 1 mile wide because I'm just remembering that. Honestly, guys, I don't think I felt that special in a really long time. It was great to walk in the door and like be welcomed by the wonderful aromas of that shrimp fettuccine Alfredo. And knowing that Joe literally cooked that from start to finish with the purest of hearts, it just made it taste even more delicious.
Aww.
Yes. Aww. Really and truly, it was sweet. He knew how to make a girl feel special.
You're welcome.
Yes. So Chef Joe, if I could have given you a Michelin star, I would definitely, yeah. You deserve a fancy restaurant one of these days.
Yes. Yeah. We'll draw that next.
Yeah. We work on that next. All right, people. So it's good to be back. And thank you for joining us on this episode of the Journey to Forever podcast. As always, we welcome your feedback. Please leave a review of this on Apple Podcasts. Or you can also feel free to give us feedback within direct message or the comments on our Instagram page, Journey to Forever TT. Until next Friday, remember that forever love is a journey, not a destination, and the fuel that keeps you going is communication. Bye.
Bye, folks. Have a great one.